Hi, welcome to today's video. My name is Paul. So this week is as you can see, some watercolor landscape painting. It's the first, well, I should say I recorded this video about 2 weeks ago, and at that time it was the first watercolor landscape painting I'd done for probably a few weeks, maybe even a month or so. So I was really glad to get the opportunity to get back into it again. I'd just kind of run out of watercolor paper again, so I had to order some more. For those who are interested in these sort of things, the paper itself is Hahnemühle paper. Yeah, it's I think a German company, and it's quite a thick paper. It was like an anniversary paper they made because the company was a few hundred years old or something. So it's quite a heavy paper. It's about 400 and something grams per square meter. I have no idea what that is in pounds, but maybe around 200 pounds or something like that. Anyway, it's quite a heavy paper, quite a thick paper. And it has a sort of medium surface. It's not a rough surface. It's certainly not a smooth surface, but there's a little bit of texture on the surface of the paper. Other things usual, no references, just imagination. Very simple color scheme, just blue and yellow basically. Very simple composition, just the one brush. All the usual things that I use. Just trying to keep things simple. This time of year, there's a couple of anniversaries for me. So the first one is, I just briefly mention it, is this YouTube channel is now 2 years old. So I uploaded the first video to the channel in July 2020. So 2 years, and I don't know, a few hundred videos later, it's still going, which is, I think, something of an achievement. Even just not giving up is an achievement, I think. YouTube, as I've said before in other videos, it is quite a bit of work. At the beginning, it's quite a steep learning curve because I had never made any videos before. I had never edited a video. Didn't even know where you would begin to do things like that. I didn't have the finances for lots of fancy equipment, and I still don't, which is why the video quality is mediocre at best, and the sound quality is always not perfect. But I've always felt that with YouTube, being an amateur sort of thing is okay. It's about sharing things rather than just the presentation of things. However, on YouTube, I have to say these days, a lot of people do expect a high quality presentation because people are so used now to seeing really high definition videos on YouTube. So if, like me, you have limited equipment, maybe your channel won't be the most successful out there. Let's put it that way. But still, for me, I think YouTube was a very, very positive experience. I have no intentions of quitting YouTube and keep going. The way I look at it is, if there's at least one person watching these videos each week, then I'll keep going. The other sort of anniversary for me at this time of the year is, so in August 2019, I quit my last full-time job, sort of corporate IT, and decided, maybe in a moment of insanity or maybe in a moment of clarity, I decided that I would quit that job and become a professional artist, or at least try to live in a different way. Before, the corporate job was kind of just, I had no interest in the job really, and on a good day it was just boring. It was just turning up and going through the motions. But on a bad day it was kind of soul crushing. So I decided that I had to do something. It wasn't really how I wanted to live my life. So I had to try and do something different. Art, creativity was always something that I loved. So I thought, well, okay, what can I do with that? And that was basically my plan. So it wasn't much of a plan really. if there's anybody out there thinking of doing something similar, quitting your job, becoming an artist, maybe we're all in different situations. We'll all have different experiences. So really, I can only give you some very, very general advice. And that advice would be, don't do what I did. Try and create a deeper plan, a bit more structured plan, rather than just sort of hoping for the best. When people say, I want to become a professional artist, in most cases, what they're actually saying is, I want to start my own business. Because that's what it is. For most of us, we still have to support ourselves financially. We still got to pay the bills, keep a roof over their head, food on the table, and so on. So it is a business. It involves money, it involves maybe customers and things like that. So taxes, accounting, all of that fun stuff, it's all included in becoming a professional artist. So really, if like me, you didn't have any sort of business background, there's quite a bit to learn. So like I say, I would take a little bit of time, 6 months, maybe even 12 months, save as much money as you can during that time. If you have a job ongoing, try and save as much as you can, because you're going to need it probably. And just come up with things like a business plan. Look at all the possibilities that are open to you, and just come up with a plan to see if you can support yourself financially. For me, it was, it still is, a very, very steep learning curve. Due to my sort of personality being very much an introvert, having some mental health issues and things, it's been a challenge. But overall, I think it was the right decision for me. So far anyway. I don't regret it. If I had a time machine, I could go back. I wouldn't change the decision. I would maybe try and plan things out a bit more, but I wouldn't change that decision. So that's really the only vague general advice that I can give. Because like I say, everybody would be in different circumstances and will have different experiences in this crazy idea of becoming a professional artist. Okay, well, this is a scan of the final painting. As I said, it was the first watercolor painting I'd done for a few weeks, and I was glad to get the opportunity to do the painting. I was happy with the final results. It's quite loose. There's quite a bit going on in the foreground, and it has a bit of a feeling of depth to it. Very simple color palette, just yellow and blue. Overall, as I say, I was happy with it, and happy to have the opportunity to do a bit more watercolor painting. And as I say, this video was recorded a couple of weeks ago, and since then I have been able to do a few more watercolor paintings. Okay, well, if you stuck this video to the end, thank you for listening, and hopefully see you in the next one.